I know what you're thinking. We're in the man cave, and you would be right. This is the man cave at Wistful Vistas in beautiful suburban San Diego, California. And we're continuing on the in-garage and introduction to the 2021 Aprilia Tuono battery. So join me for a little ride here as we cover some of the, at least the top issues. Well, I don't know if the top is the right way to put it. Let's say the surface issues with this machine. By the way, I want to show you something. This is the manual. Hold on, that's not all. I'm going to come a little closer, step out of the picture for a minute. This is the manual. Weighs about 20 pounds. That's not true, but it is very, very heavy. Now, I'm going to be honest about all this, that all that you see here is not English, or English and, I think it's English and Italian that are together. Yes, English and, yeah, Italian. That's the only part we have to worry about. Think there's enough to go over and try and understand there? Well, you would definitely be right. There is plenty to go over and try and understand there. Obviously, I'm only having this beautiful machine for 2 days now, so we haven't gone that far. But let's go over a few of the things that I really do like about this machine, and I'll begin with, not just the stuff that I like. Let's go over just the stuff about this machine. Stickers. Let's start with stickers. There are 15 to 16. I counted them and then I looked in the manual, and I think in the US we get 16 stickers on this machine. All of them typically have to do with warnings. There is some useful information, chain slack down here, how to set, and a few other things. But for instance, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just right here. So lots of stickers. I will be removing them after a little bit of time. Now, the last 2017 I removed those stickers, and I was very sorry to have left a couple of spots here. So I'm going to try and do a little better job of that time. So, job number 1, stickers. Oh, wait a minute. I think there's 18. Objects in mirror are crazier than they appear to be. Another sticker. It says they're closer than they appear to be. Okay. I'm going to put this aside for a while, unless you want to, let's sit down some evening and over a nice cup of tea. Let's go over that thing and go through it. Okay, stuff that you see. Obviously, the paint scheme has been changed. The earlier models had kind of a blocked out Aprilia across here. Now we just have the A. That's all that's left, but it says Aprilia Racing on the side. Very cool. But it's predominantly black. The other one, my 2017, also, it had a lot of green. There are now only 2 little bits of green. 2 little bits of green flashing up here. The Italian flag, gentlemen at Aprilia, the Italian flag. Red, white, and green. Where is the balance here? So just 2 little tiny flashes of green on the machine this time around. Okay, now I'm going to grab the camera and carry it by hand, and we're going to go around it and take a look at some various little details. So stand by for that. Okay, we're recording. I think we're recording. You know what this is? This is a key. By the way, don't worry, I've got you. I won't let you fall. Woo! Not really. This is a Aprilia key. Let's carry the key over here, the relevant bit here, and put the key in. Now, one of the things I've discovered my first ride with it and opening up is that my mount here, my phone mount, which is an SP phone mount, I highly recommend it, is now interfering with my view of the TFT display. So I'm going to have to put that over to the side or someplace like that, but just goes on and off like that. That's why I like the TFT display so much. But speaking of TFT displays, let's crank that up for a quick second here. There she goes. He makes that sound. Charging up the fuel ejection system. Says insert your personal code. Not entirely sure what that means. It just went in and there it goes. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to announce, will wonders never cease? A fuel level gauge. Oh my goodness, Tuono. Welcome to the 20th century. Oh wait, it's the 21st century. But this machine now has a fuel level gauge. So much appreciated. You'll also notice this TFT is appreciably larger. The overall configuration is roughly the same as the earlier ones. Still have that hockey stick tachometer there. 7K is down a little bit lower now than it used to be. Triple digits, I don't know whoever does that. And a nice large N here for the gear indicator, and a little green N over on the side when you've got that set up right. And you still get the flashing ABS and warning sign, and the kickstand down side in the machine as you go along. Now later on, I'm going to go over this TFT display and we'll talk about some of the ways that you can set it and things, but we'll get to that a little bit later. This is an overall walk around the machine. I need to ride it a few times. I certainly have enough to learn before we get too deep into that. Love it. Hashtag be a racer. Be an eraser? I don't know. Does anybody want to be on a pencil? Okay, another really, really appreciated Aprilia. Awesome job, gentlemen and ladies. I am sure there are ladies involved with this. Another really appreciated thing, 90-degree valve stems. Oh, well, these might be about 80. I don't know that they're exactly 90, but oh my goodness, it's going to make life so much easier to get the air filler in there, in and out. Really liking that one. That was a nice little chance discovery. In fact, I was contemplating paying to have those installed even before I wrote it out of the factory, but these much appreciated. The new exhaust pipe, now this is the OEM exhaust pipe, that is much more slender, much more acceptable from an aesthetic point of view than the old behemoth 88 millimeter Canon that they used to have. It still is a bit muted, but the whole exhaust and its related gear is now much more narrow, much more pleasing. The rest of the layout machine comes pretty close. Again, we've got those 90-degree valve stems up front. Thank you, Aprilia. 90-degree valve stems up front. Some of the switchgear changes slightly. We now have a single-piece start and stop, electrical on and off over here instead of a slider, and then a Kickstarter, or excuse me, a starter button down there, down below. Another large change is the takeoffs for the semi-active suspension in here. So that's a nice little touch too. I've ridden this already, rode it home from the dealer, and my overall impression was one of real stability and buttery smoothness riding it on the freeway over the expansion joints. I think typically you get some fore and aft movement no matter how well you tune a machine as you're going over bumps. Boom on the front, boom on the back. This, when you go boom on the front, sends a note to the back of the suspension, big bump coming, that suspension gets ready, and you get a little noise there, and then it is much steadier as you get through those bumps and other bits and pieces. Once again, it ships stock with this very racy looking tailstock here, like that, really groovy, really hot looking. There is no pillion in the world to sit on that, but I don't intend to ride with a pillion. Mrs. Cooper is not going to even remotely entertain that suggestion. All stock for now. The first thing to go will be to remove those stickers and try to do so a little more kindler and gentler than I have in the past, and I will get to that. Just want to mention one of the little complaints I have about this machine, and I'm wondering if I can, no, I think I'll take the bike off the stand before I get to that and show you all that. But the overall layout and the configuration of the machine from the mechanical point of view is pretty much the same as it was. The biggest changes, the 2021 changes, being the active suspension and the larger TFT display. And of course, I'm going to mention it again, it gets tedious, but I'm going to mention again those 90-degree valve stems and that fuel gauge. That is just, I think that is awesome. Now, one of the things that will be an early mod is this fuel filler cap. I'm going to replace that. I'll probably replace it with the one I used before on my 2017. Here in California, we have a vapor recovery system when we do refueling, and it just makes it a pain to get fuel into this bike with this semi pop-up thing. You only get it to pop up about 90 degrees, and then you've got to snake the fuel line in there and hold it up so the vapor recovery system works. But just going over the switchgear and things, I think it's just kind of got a nice looking sort of build quality to it. Not a lot of bits and pieces hanging off of it. Now on the 2021, there is a dedicated cruise control here, on, up, and down, which is kind of nice because before it was incorporated into the central pad there. But now separate, still have the plus and minus buttons down here, and most of the rest of the switchgear is pretty familiar. I do wish that they would get with the self-canceling turn signals. That's a really nice thing on the Ducati V4S. Okay, here's my issue with the quick shifter. Hopefully this will come out. I think I've got it about the right place, but here's your normal resting place on your foot in kind of a comfortable position as you're rolling along. Here's the situation when you want to do an upshift. Really got to move around and angle that foot down. And when you're wearing motorcycle boots, full-size motorcycle boots, it's just, let's see if I can get it into position here, just not the easiest thing to do. So I'm going to see if I can adjust the location of that lever in terms of its degrees difference to the foot peg, or lower the foot peg so that it is not quite the issue to get your foot down and around on that. I don't recall it in the stock form. I had modified that peg with a drop peg on my old machine, and I don't remember it being that kind of an issue on the old machine, but you've really got to go. It's not just where you just have a little bit to go. You've got to really take it around. So any comments or suggestions about that? I'd love to hear, by the way, anybody that has any experience with that, and we will try and take care of it. I think the part that I might be able to realign, I'm not entirely sure, or I don't know, this thing looks fixed in its position, but I would either drop the peg slightly, which would bring it a little more level, or ideally, I'd like to find a way to bring this up. Now, I think there may be some offset adjustment here or here, but I need to look at that. Okay, 2021 Aprilia Tuono quick tour. Don't forget to look at my first ride vlog. That will be released by the time you see this. And also, I did a vlog on my Odyssey coming into the ownership of this machine. I think she's really handsome. Oh yeah, another thing to mention. The previous gens, the 2017s through, I think, this year, had a clamshell. This front fairing was a clamshell that you had to get in some depth to be able to change the windshield. This one has, thankfully, thank you Aprilia factory, has thankfully just 4 screws. So I think there will probably be some aftermarket available for a taller windscreen. The RR has a taller windscreen, but I don't believe it has the same configuration as the screws are concerned. But I'll bet people like Puig and others will get on that and address that situation very soon. And oh, by the way, another sticker. This one says, keep it clean with a wet cloth and some soapy water. That's the world we're living in, folks. I'm sure somebody said, hey, how do you keep this windshield clean? And they decided to put that on. All right, there it is. Had fun showing it to you. And we'll get back into the editing room and see how this turns out. Any suggestions for first set of mods or how to handle those things that I spoke of? All very kindly listened to. See you later.